What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Keep It Hoop YouTube channel. So I'm sure you guys know this already, but last week at the trade deadline, Nikola Vucevic got traded to the Chicago Bulls. So I wanted to take some time today to look at what that offense might look like now going forward, what he can do for the Bulls, but also what the Bulls can do for him. So the first play we're going to look at is a simple post-up play, and this works really well, mostly because of the off-ball action and the shooting and the spacing that the Chicago Bulls have. So as he gets the ball here, you're going to see that Thomas Satoransky is going to cut through. You have Markkanen looking to set a screen for Levine, who's going to pop out. And then you have Williams here camping out at the corner. Now, the good thing with this Bulls offense is that they can all shoot the three, right? And even Vucevic himself can shoot it. So you have the ability to play 5 out or 4 out and really just being able to read the defense and just seeing what works best for them. So as we let this run, Vucevic is going to get the ball in the post and everybody cuts through. And now you have really good spacing, right? Because well, not even really good, but really good for Vucevic. Now, ideally, you have Levine slide over here a bit, but this play is mostly for Vucevic, right? And you have a situation here where, again, Murray's going to have to stick with Markkanen because he can shoot. DeRozan's going to have to stick with Levine because he can shoot. Satoransky is going to go here, but he can shoot. And then you have Williams here who can shoot. Now, the Spurs are all in position to be able to help if he goes middle side, but we all know that Vucevic is a very skilled player, but he's also smart enough to know and see that there's no help that can come from the baseline side. So what does Vucevic do? Turns over his left shoulder. Really nice play, really nice move, soft touch. Now, I think we're going to see a lot of plays like this. Chicago hasn't had a consistent post threat as a scorer in a while, and he's going to open up a lot of things for Billy Donovan and Zach LaVine. I think it's also going to help his game because he's a guy that can and will shoot the three and mid range, but I think this year and at times last year, he's had to shoot a bit more than he would like or that he needs to, just because a lot of times he was the best shooter on the court for Orlando. But he's best when he's a back to the basket post up guy. And I think he'll be able to exploit matchups and do what he's best at even more because the Chicago Bulls have so much shooting around him. So he'll be able to kind of just use that ability, use his size, use his strength, use his skill, and then let guys like Levine, Satoransky, Kobe White, and Lauri Markkanen to be the ones to get them the three-point shooting. So we saw how Vucevic can operate out of the post and how the Bulls shooting and spacing can help him with that. But what makes Vucevic so good is he can also play really well, actually, out of the pick and roll and pick and pop. Now, what the Magic often did was they put him in a lot of handoff situation. It acts as a screen, and it got them a lot of good looks. So in this game, which is actually his 43-point game against, ironically enough, the Chicago Bulls, you're going to see this play where Evan Fournier, the solid player himself, comes off, gets this pass, gets the screen, and then gets a pretty good look at the rim, and it breaks down the defense. So for our sake, let's just pretend that instead of Fournier, this is Zach LaVine. All right, the better player, better finisher, better athlete. He's going to come around, and it puts the defense in a really tough situation because Gafford has to help off of Vucevic and go help and make sure that this guy doesn't get a wide open layup or dunk. And ideally, if you're Chicago, Markkanen's here earlier and deeper to stop Vucevic from getting a wide open look. Now, Vucevic has a couple options here. He could have popped out for the three. He could have rolled but stopped around here, get that mid-range jump shot. What he ends up doing comes down here, not all the way down because, you do have Kobe White there. You don't want to get called for a charge. But you have a situation here where Vucevic finds himself really nice area and hits a really nice floater. Now, what's difficult about this is even if Markkanen came down a little bit earlier, the defense is still in a really tough position because I'll let this run. Right, even if Markkanen comes, you have two guys. Ideally, this guy's a little bit further out in the corner who can shoot the three. And if Markkanen goes down, you then have a situation where 1, 2, 3 guys on defense are guarding 2 guys on offense, which means on the other side, on the weak side, you have 3 guys on offense only being guarded by 2 guys on defense. So I think this is even better if this was Chicago on offense and not Orlando because Chicago has more shooters. Again, you can imagine that this is a guy like Markkanen or Kobe White or Satoransky, and then you have Williams here, right? You just have more spacing and shooting on the Bulls. So I think you're going to find situations where you have to stop Levine, and if you don't do that, or if you're committed to that, then you have to worry about Vucevic, and then if you want to worry about that, then you're probably leaving open a decent shooter. Also, what's going to be interesting to look at going forward is who is this guy going to be, taking the handoffs and roll or, driving. I think ideally it's Levine, and I know he's not a playmaker per se, but remember he did come into the league as a point guard for the Wolves, so it's not like he can't dribble, he can't make plays for other people. You could argue that he just hasn't really been able to or had the opportunity to because his teammates haven't been the best. He hasn't had a lot of talent to work with. That being said, I don't think he's a primary playmaker. Their best passers and playmakers are probably Satoransky and oddly enough, the forgotten, underrated Thaddeus Young, who's been playing really well this year. And I think they could do some interesting things. Having Levine on the weak side also makes sure that you have plenty of space and shooting on the floor, and you can't help off of Levine as we saw in the first clip. It also allows Zach LaVine to rest a bit, save his legs, save his energy a bit. It's going to be interesting because I don't know how much Markkanen and Young will play with Vucevic. I don't think those three will all play at the same time either. I think it will come down to defensive matchups and how they want to match up, how they want to play defense. But yeah, I mean, you see in these plays how much versatility and things you can do with Vucevic. Chicago hasn't had a low post presence like him. Once you get him going downhill, you can do a lot of things. He has the floater. If the defense wants to put their attention on him, you have guys like Zach LaVine and Kobe White who are solid finishers at the rim. And then you're also going to have a situation here where, again, another dribble handoff. It's going to be Ennis coming off. And, for our sake, again, just imagine this as a guy like Kobe White or Levine getting this handoff, getting a full head of steam towards the rim. These athletic, fast, young guys. And the defense is, again, put in a hard situation. Do you want to go stop that line drive to the rim, or do you want to, keep a body on Vucevic? And I think things are just going to open up. And I think you're seeing, again, how he can help them get better looks, but also how we saw in that first clip, how they can help him. Now, I will say ultimately how well the Bulls end up doing, if they can get into the playoffs, and then if they get into the playoffs, how far they go, will come down to their defense. Now, the Chicago Bulls last year, if you don't remember, under Boylan, tried to focus on defense. They're a slower paced team, and they weren't great on offense. They were kind of boring to watch. They weren't, very fundamental. They didn't execute well, and, guys are unhappy. Billy Donovan came in this year, not like he dished the defense, but a lot of the priority and the focus has been on offense. They play a lot, faster, and I think they play a better brand of basketball, more modern brand of basketball. Everyone looks happy. That tends to happen when you're just playing better and winning. I will say that it definitely helps to have guys like Markkanen, Thaddeus Young, playing well. But yeah, I mean, I think that the offense wasn't ever a problem, and it should only get better with Vucevic coming in. But you don't have great defenders on this team, right? Thaddeus Young and Satoransky are probably your best defenders, and neither of them are great defenders. And then your best players in Vucevic and Levine, even guys like Markkanen and Kobe White, aren't good defenders. Hopefully now that they're winning and possibly a playoff team, they'll be more bought into the defense. They'll try harder, more focused on that end, because I do think that this is a team that, it's going to be fun to watch. Chicago's always a city that, once they're when they're good, the NBA is happy, right? They're one of those teams like New York, Los Angeles, Boston, Miami. So it's good for the league. Really interesting to see. I'm happy that the Bulls front office kind of rewarded its team, its coaches, its players, and the fans, because I don't think anybody thought they'd be this good this late into the season. But now that they have a chance to make the playoffs, they pulled the trigger, made the big moves, and I'm happy to see that. But yeah, it's ultimately going to come down to their defense. But I am interested to see how Billy Donovan continues to innovate and integrate Vucevic into the offense, because I do want to see Chicago make the playoffs. I do want to see Vucevic play in the playoffs. I want to see Zach LaVine play in the playoffs. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, and comment. We should be back tomorrow with another video, so we'll see you guys tomorrow.